Not minor mentions, not background cameos, 7 names that fans swear would have changed the entire narrative. And look, we have to be clear. This is commentary on what's being said and what's trending, not a courtroom fact sheet. But when fans start connecting dots, when clips get replayed frame by frame, when old interviews suddenly resurface, and when people start asking why some storylines stop right at the edge of certain circles, emotions ran high for a reason. Because if even half of these claims are true, then this wasn't just editing, it was protection. And that's why fans are shocked, and why this doc might be the beginning of something even bigger than Diddy. The moment
in 20 years won't do an interview, nobody's ever talked to her, and she's never been interviewed anywhere. And now, understand, I'm not talking about one person. What I just told you applies to 7 people. How they all end up with that. That's part of what you get. I came in this business saying I was gonna expose. When I talked about Michael Jackson, when I talked about R. Kelly, they canceled me for these things because why would you talk about another black dude? Race is not where the line is drawn. It's God's side and the other side. And we don't care nothing about the other side. Period. All of these big dick deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is. TG Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way. The truth is the
first wave of posts started popping up, like, am I crazy or did they avoid certain names? And then suddenly it became, they cut them, and then they removed 7. And after that it turned into, everybody knows who those 7 are. That is how online stories grow, not in a straight line, but in a spiral. A whisper turns into a chant, and by the time you blink, it feels like the whole internet is arguing like they were in the editing room themselves. And here's where the drama gets real, because this is not just about a documentary, this is about power. Fans are saying that if 50 Cent really had the freedom to tell the full story, the documentary would have been even messier, even louder, even more dangerous. And that's why, according to the chatter, the final version is what you get when the story bumps into a wall built out of money, connections, and fear. One entertainment blogger put it like this: the documentary is spicy, but it's the kind of spice that stops short of burning the kitchen down. And that line went viral because people instantly knew what it meant. There's the story they let you watch, and then there's the story they wouldn't dare air. Then Cat Williams got pulled into the conversation, and that's when the whole thing started feeling like a prophecy to some viewers. Fans kept repeating his old lines, clipped and reposted like a warning label. All lies will be exposed. That phrase started floating around again, like a curse somebody forgot they said out loud. And even though Cat didn't walk onto Netflix and point at a screen and name names, people online swear the timing is too perfect. They're saying it's not even about what he confirmed, it's about what he called coming. Now, let's be clear in the way we have to be clear. Nobody watching from home has a verified editing log. There's no official statement listing 7 names that were removed. This is commentary on what fans are claiming, what pages are posting, and what's trending. But when a rumor becomes a headline on every gossip page, it starts moving like news, and the energy around it becomes the story all by itself. And the energy...
Say that again. But take it 27 years. 4 years. Meanwhile, they tried to give me 4 years with 2 blunts I had no intention of smoking in the first place. Same 4 years. I don't give a fuck. Being an ass-picking devil worshiper is not against the law. They put that man on a whole RICO because they thought he was f***ing for China. They said, bring out the 9 niggas walked out. That ain't even get the law. Go on and get you found. That man liked this so much as his punishment. They sent him to the place with the most.
She right now is furious. There's a clip going around of a reaction streamer slamming their desk and saying, "They want me to believe the biggest story in entertainment has no missing pieces? Please." Another person stitched that video and replied, "It's not missing pieces, it's missing people." Then someone else commented, "Exactly, 7 of them." And that number kept repeating like it had a life of its own. 7, 7, 7. What makes it feel even more intense is that people are acting like 50 Cent is both the hero and the villain in the same breath. One side is praising him like he's the only one bold enough to even touch the subject, saying he pushed Netflix further than anybody else would. The other side is accusing him of playing it safe at the last second. And the worst part is that both sides sound convinced. He would expose everybody if he could, one fan wrote. No, he protected them, another snapped back. You really think he didn't have to cut anything? You really think Netflix would let him burn the whole industry on their platform? That's the debate. And it's personal because people aren't arguing about editing, they're arguing about who gets protected and who gets sacrificed. According to the loudest version of the rumor, the 7 names are not random. Fans are claiming these are people who are close to the orbit, close enough that including them would have pulled the story into a much bigger fight. And the way fans tell it, those names didn't get left out because they were irrelevant. They got left out because they were too relevant. An alleged insider account on social media posted a vague message that poured gasoline on the whole thing. It said, "You're watching the version they let you watch. No proof, no details, just that line." And within minutes, people were quoting it like it came from a courtroom. That's how badly people want to believe there's a hidden cut sitting on a hard drive somewhere, sealed off from the public. Even more wild, fans started arguing over the trailer itself, claiming there were moments that didn't match the final release. "Look at the pacing," one person said. "There's a jump cut right where a name would be." Another wrote, "The sound dips like something got muted." And then the armchair editors arrived, acting like they could read the truth through waveform patterns and blurry subtitles. In the middle of all this, you've got people imagining phone calls happening behind the scenes. You've got fans writing fictional dialogues that feel way too believable, because this is how they think the industry moves. "You can't say that name," one imaginary executive voice says. "Why not?" a second voice replies. "Because we like our partnerships. So we protect them, we protect the platform." And then in the fan-made fantasy, 50 Cent is the one refusing to play nice. "I'm not protecting anybody," he says, according to the internet's made-up version of events. But then the other voice hits him with the reality line, "You want this to air or you want it buried?" And that is the core of what people are reacting to. Not the literal truth of that conversation, but the idea that something like it could happen. Because when fans say censorship, what they really mean is pressure. Corporate pressure, legal pressure, relationship pressure. The kind of pressure that doesn't show up on screen, but shapes everything you
see. And while all this was spiraling, the fan base split into teams. You had one group hunting for clues, posting long threads like they were solving a mystery. You had another group dragging anybody who questioned the rumors, saying you're naive. And then you had a
I want to thank you. Come here. Don't sit on the bed at night. No homo. No, just don't get close to the bed. Don't get close, but it's just like, yo, we want to thank you for hosting the thing, man. It's been a pleasure. You didn't have to do it, and you did it.
No, I definitely didn't have to do it. I definitely didn't have to. First and foremost, I'm not getting in the bed. Shout out to him and what he did. I'm just gonna, if we can, let's just put the camera a little this way, just so we're not. I don't want my shot to even, I don't want it to come close to the bed at all. I should look like he fresh off a goddamn plane. I should.
Fresh off the guard stage. That's my brother right here from day one. We used to wake up and, pause, but like, check this out. Back in the days when he was like 10 and I was a little bit older, his older brother, we used to fight over the frosted flakes. You know what I'm saying? Before pause was invented. You know what I'm saying? But it's my brother for real. We used to actually wrestle off of the frosted flakes because he used to always get up early. Now he's one of the richest stars in the world.
Yo, what the f did Puff just say? Nobody's gonna acknowledge this with me. Puff just said we used to wrestle over the frosted flakes, and we're streaming live. That was stupid. Listen, that was fucking stupid. Listen,
having a good time, yo. Oh, your usher made it in the. Hey, yo.
I'm a thug. At the end of the day, I can't.
third group that didn't care about the details at all. They just wanted the drama. They wanted to watch the industry squirm. One commenter wrote, "This is why I love documentaries. Everybody starts acting guilty." And somebody replied, "Or everybody starts acting scared." And that line hit because it captured the mood. Scared. Even people who were just watching from home started talking like they were witnessing something dangerous. Then the reaction moved from fans to people who claim they work around entertainment. Not official spokespeople, not names you can verify, but those familiar accounts that pop up during every scandal. The ones that say things like, "I've been in rooms where decisions get made." Those accounts started posting cryptic statements like, "You'd be surprised what gets cut at the last minute." And that was enough to make the rumor feel heavier, even if it still wasn't confirmed. The emotional stakes got even higher when fans started pulling in family and friends of the people being discussed, not to accuse them, but to ask questions. Why are they silent? Why aren't they addressing this? Why does it feel like nobody wants to touch it? And that's where the drama always goes next, because silence becomes evidence in the court of public opinion. And the thing about this kind of internet storm is that it doesn't wait for proof. It feeds on reaction. It feeds on hesitation. It feeds on the fact that big platforms rarely give clean answers to messy questions. So the documentary became the spark, but the fire turned into something else entirely. It became a referendum on who gets to be named and who gets to stay untouchable. It became fans arguing like jurors, influencers acting like investigators, and gossip pages posting like they have access to secret files. And right when it felt like the whole conversation was stuck in a loop of speculation, a new claim started circulating that shifted the vibe again. Not a clean receipt, not a verified document, but a fresh angle that made people sit up and say, hold on, that actually explains why the edits feel like that. Because it wasn't just about names anymore. It was about what the documentary could have shown, what it chose not to show, and what that choice might reveal about who really holds the power behind the scenes. And that is when the rumor stopped sounding like a simple complaint about editing and started feeling like a full-on warning about access. Because fans weren't just saying they trimmed a scene. They were saying the whole doc moved like it was walking on glass. Like every time it got close to a certain circle, it backed up and changed direction. People began pointing out specific moments where the energy shifts. One minute the documentary feels bold, the next it feels careful. And viewers started saying the careful parts were not artistic decisions, they were survival decisions. You can feel the breaks, one fan posted. Right when it gets good, it turns into soft focus. Another replied, that's not soft focus, that's a safety filter. And once fans convinced themselves there was a filter, they started hunting for who demanded it. Not with proof, but with vibes. And that is how those 7 names started trending like they were already confirmed. It was like the internet collectively decided the list was real because it fit the emotion of the moment. You could see it play out in real time. A gossip page posted, fans say 7 names got cut, and the comments instantly turned into a courtroom. One person wrote, I knew it. The doc never says what everybody's thinking. Another wrote, they're protecting the protected. Someone else jumped in like they were offended on behalf of the audience. Don't sell us a truth documentary if you're still picking who gets to stay clean. Then the reaction channels got involved, and that's where the story turned into drama theater, because those creators don't just react, they perform outrage. They started filming themselves with the documentary pause behind them, pointing at the screen like it was a crime scene. Look at this cut, one creator said, voice shaking like they just discovered a secret door. Tell me that doesn't look like a name was supposed to be here. Another creator stitched that video and replied, you're looking at the wrong part. It's not the cut, it's the silence after the cut. And then somebody else added, silence is a choice. Somebody paid for that choice. Again, no one proved that, but it landed because it sounded like the kind of sentence people say when they want to feel like they're watching something bigger than entertainment. And then, like clockwork, the fan theories turned into fan fiction. Not the cute kind, the dark kind. The kind where viewers imagine a behind-the-scenes meeting happening at midnight, lights low, phones on Do Not Disturb, where an industry executive leans back and says, we can air it, but we can't air all of it. In the comments, people wrote imagined dialogue like they were transcribing a leaked call. You can't put that name in there, one imaginary voice said. Why? It's part of the story, another imaginary voice replied. Because the story has to survive. And then the version of 50 Cent in these little comment skits always plays the same role, the tough guy who refuses to blink. I'm not scared of anybody, he says in the fantasy version. And the executive says, this isn't about fear, this is about distribution. And that word, distribution, became the new villain in the story. Not a person, not a celebrity, but the machine that decides what gets seen and what gets buried. Fans started saying the doc is like a hallway with locked doors. It shows you enough to make you angry, but not enough to make the powerful panic. And they use that idea to explain everything. Why the doc feels intense but controlled, why it hints at connections without naming them, why it lets certain stories breathe but rushes past others. And then the most dramatic part of the rumor wave hit. Fans claimed there were 2 versions floating around inside the industry, a public cut and a private cut.